so you got yourself, when you were writing on a memoir, which is another little like genre jump that is really interesting to me. I've always been really interested in this. To me, it's a slippery slope sometimes between memoir and fiction. To other people, they go, no, it's not. It's so completely distinct and separate. I think those people are very, very faithful to just recording what they remember or what happened. You know? But anyway, that's a whole philosophical thing that we can go into. But you were wise enough to say, okay, I need an editor on this. And now you've written two complete novels, a third actually, which is out with an agent. So, and they've gone through dev edits. What are the two editing experiences like? Like, what did you learn from that? We've talked about what you could or could not learn, and you said discipline was the primary thing coming from nonfiction to fiction. What happened when you went from memoir to fiction? Like, what was that shift like? Was it very similar to you, or was it quite different?
Yeah, the thing with memoir is it's still a narrative, so you still have to give the story an arc and take the reader on a journey to a place that you want them to end up with something that you want to say. So I think fiction is very much like that too. Whereas pure nonfiction is, I mean, you still have to do that, but it's very different. And I mean, I will say that I hope that I have improved with every book that I've written. So just that experience of getting outside feedback, which you do in your groups, which is amazing, but it's, you know, so helpful to just get feedback and honest feedback and learn how to use that. And you know, the difference between taking everything as gospel and saying, right, I've got to change all this, or, oh no, wait a minute, is this person understanding what I'm trying to do? Am I understanding what I'm trying to do? So yeah, so one of my big goals is to always write a better book every time I write a book. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Well, I'm your books are getting better because our little Uninventables group is now involved.
Right, exactly.
But so now the end. Let's pick up at the end of your first novel.
Okay.
At that point, this is the third genre you've written in. You got it professionally edited, so you're reasonably sure of where you stand with it. Did you then try the agent route again, or did you say, I'm doing fine with the self-publishing, I'm just going to self-publish it?
So this was this came out in 2017. So it was around 2016. I'd done the nonfiction, and this first novel is now called A Strange Companion, although it's had several titles. But that was a book that I had been writing for 10 years. It was the first novel that I wrote, and the final version was so completely unrecognizable from the first version. I mean, I literally wrote it from page one probably 3 or 4 times and made huge changes. But I think that I taught myself, or I learned to write fiction with that book. So really, even though that was the first novel, there's probably 3 or 4 novels actually in there before I got to the finished, the final version. And I did. I submitted it to agents, and I got nibbles, and I just couldn't get a bite. And to be perfectly honest with you, this was about 2016. I was kind of demoralized. I thought, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I just need to forget the fiction. That's not who I am. Let me go back. Maybe I need to write some more nonfiction, or maybe I need to get a real job again, or maybe I need to do anything but this. And I was in a sort of a creative mastermind group. And one of the things that they were really trying to push us all to do was to share our work in some way or another. And so I thought, I can't get a bite for this book. Do I even have anything? And I kept getting it out and editing it and working on it more. And then I probably went through I know I went through at least 2 rounds of agent submissions, and then realized, oh, I've got to rewrite this thing. And I just finally sort of just burnt out on it. And so because of this creative group, I decided that I would just serialize it on my blog. I worked with a book coach, and I would send her, I mean, I sort of got the thing where I wanted it. I would send her a chapter. She would send me notes back. I would edit it and proofread it and post it on my blog. And I did that every single week for about at least 6 months and put the whole book out there a chapter at a time. And I did that just to get out of my own way and just stop revising this book and putting it back under the bed and getting it out again and revising it again. And it got some nice feedback. It got people enjoyed it. People would send me an email and say, when's the next chapter coming out? And so it was really a good confidence boost. And so because I'd self-published the nonfiction, I was like, this is silly. I just need to do this. I just need to stop waiting to be picked. People like this story. They're telling me they like this story. If they like it, I can find other people who like it. So why am I not just doing this? And so that was really the start of that. And it was just getting out of my own way. Yeah, I mean, just that I found the hole in the rhino skin and kept poking at it.
So
Yeah.
then you write the smallest thing.
Yeah.
Did you go through the struggle again, or by that time I, did you think
So
this is the way
yeah,
that?
I mean, that was a little bit, it's sort of a combination. So I wrote it a lot faster because by that time I understood how to do this thing and make it work. And I did, again, I did look for an agent, and again, got some interest, but no really firm bites. And then I had just published, or was in the process of publishing, A Strange Companion. And I thought, I'm just gonna roll it out afterwards. I'm gonna get it to the point where it's ready, and just sort of take control of this and get this book out there and get on with it. So yeah. And I think those were the right decisions for me at that time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But something
Yeah.
changed because now you have an agent.
Now I have an agent. Yeah. Yeah. So, and yeah, I mean, it's great. Yeah. No, it's great. It's completely different. It's completely different because I finished the book that is now, I'm not supposed to say it's on submission, but it's on submission. But I finished this in April last year. So had I decided to go the self-publishing route, I would be able to hold up my fabulous copy and show it to you. But, the traditional route is slow. And for somebody who's now used to holding the reins and saying, all right, we're going to do this, we're going to get a cover and an editor, and we're going to do this and that, it's a whole new set of skills, the waiting skills.
Right.
So yeah.
But what made you, so there must have been something though, like that made you think that, because it sounds to me that you're, I have coached and talked to a lot of self-publishers, and your success is much higher than the norm. But there's still something driving you every time to go and look for an agent. So what is that? Is it the promise of the big advance check? Is it that there's this idea that somebody else will do most of it for you, which you and I both know is not exactly true? Or is it that you just can hit so much bigger when you have like a big player behind you? What keeps bringing you back into this?
I think it's a few factors, honestly. I think number one is, and one of the great things about self-publishing is you have complete control and authority, and you get to do everything. And one of the biggest downsides of self-publishing is you have complete control and authority, and you get to do everything. So, you are involved in hiring the cover designer and hiring the editors and everything is your decision. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I like process. I mean, I love to like get out my Gantt chart and make a project plan. Um, but it's a lot of work. And so part of it is just wanting a team of somebody else to say, yes, this works, or this cover, or this idea, or, you know, this marketing plan. So just having a team of experts that really know the industry. So that's one part. The other part is that I know that this book is much more commercial and much more easy to classify than the other two. The other two were YA-ish, mystery-ish, a little bit of romance-ish. So they didn't really fit clearly anywhere, whereas this feels much more solid.
What is this one?
This is currently called, again, everything has a million titles. It's a mystery about, it's a psychological suspense, a YA psychological suspense about a girl whose sister goes missing when they're young children. And at the beginning of the book, her body has been found. And so the sort of guilt, that the suspicion of the family is opened up again. So it's really sort of like a psychological suspense around this strange family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Must work on my pitch.
Oh, very well for me to say.
Yeah, yeah. So it fits with the other two novels. It's not it's not like the other two were romance and this is sci-fi, or, you know, I mean, they fit together.
Right.
You could say these are Lisa Manterfield novels, and they would feel sort of the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and the other part of it is just that curiosity. So, you know, I'm talking to you about self-publishing, but I can't really talk to you with any great authority about traditional publishing. So there's a curiosity too. Like, you know, everybody said, oh, no. Yeah. A lot of people are either like, no, you know, only traditional publishing, self-publishing is not for me. Or, oh God, you'd have to be crazy to go traditional. You know, there's really like a divided community. So, you know, I'm curious.
Right.
But it does open doors. I mean, the reality is self-publishing is flipping hard work,
Yeah.
because you do have to do absolutely everything. And there are doors that you just can't open as a self-published author. There are doors that you can open that you can't open as a traditional author. So, you know, there are other things that you can do marketing wise, and a lot of flexibility in what you can do marketing wise. As you said, I'm always running contests, or sometimes I'll do a deal or collaborate with another author. And that's a lot harder to do when somebody else is holding the reins. So, yeah.